I think even now, 18 months after we've left Putney, I could find my way along those routes with my eyes shut, guided by the raw, soapy scent of the hawthorns, or the rank smell of the elder, or the sweet, elusive fragrance of the wild roses. I never got bored with the Common. Each day there was something new to look at. Violet suddenly appearing by the railway line, or the return of the toadflax by the football pitch. Each day, however badly I or my dogs behaved, the Common, given the chance, would restore my sanity. Familiarity never bred contempt. I can only look back on the 10 years we were acquainted with love and gratitude. J.C., Gloucestershire, 1984. The Two Walks. On my favourite walk, you set out to the north down Eggleston Road, passing on the right a group of modern houses known as alimony villas, because at one time there were so many divorced women and their children living there. Through an archway formed by 2 huge plane trees lies the first common. It is divided into 2 squares by a little road up the centre. The left-hand western square is occupied by the cricket pitch. On the right-hand square, on the south-east corner, stands All Saints' Church, a solid Victorian pile consecrated in 1874. It has a little white bell tower rising out of the trees like a Cape Canaveral rocket, and several very beautiful windows designed by William Morris and Edward Burne-Jones. The churchyard has no tombstones and is framed by a square of limes, a straggling privet hedge, and, on the outside, an iron-spiked fence. Leaving the church, you pass All Saints' School, the 22-bus shelter, and the Spencer Arms public house, named after Earl Spencer, on your right, and cross the first common until you reach the fork where the Lower Richmond Road splits in two and continues under the same name on the right, but becomes Queen's Ride on the left. In the fork between the 2 roads lies a stretch of grass known as the Fair Triangle, because in May every year the fair arrives and parks here for a month. Crossing Queen's Ride and the Lower Richmond Road, both busy main roads, at the tip of the Fair Triangle, you reach the Big Common, a stretch of open land divided by a line of plane trees and bordered on the boundary by a sluggish, overgrown stream called Beverley Brook. To reach the brook, you pass, on the right, first the Ranger's Hut with its little garden, then Putney Hospital rising from a sea of green grass like a great pink liner, then the Nurses' Home, the bowling green with its crinkly red-roofed pavilion, and finally a block of council flats known as the Ranelagh Estate, past which, to the northeast, Beverley Brook continues its meandering way down to the River Thames. Between the brook and the Thames lie the fenced-in Barn Elms playing fields. At the extreme northeast corner of the common, just before the brook reaches the Ranelagh Estate, grows a clump of trees and nettles known as Cat Corner. This clump swarms with stray cats, and also cats from the estate, who become the target of every passing dog. In the early days, before the 2 footbridges across to the playing fields and the 2 paths were built, you could not walk along the north side of the brook, which was lined with elms. Instead, you turned left when you reached Cat Corner, away from the council estate, and walked along the south bank of the brook, which was lined with willows, poplars, hawthorns, and lush vegetation. To the south, as you walk, lie the hillocks, 2 undulating swells of grass under which piles of bomb rubble were buried after the Second World War. At the end of the hillocks you come to the football pitch, and leaving Beverley Brook you swing left along the side of the pitch. Ahead lies an enchanted square of land known as the Flower Garden, because it was once allotments and today is crammed with wildflowers, brambles, dog roses, and oak and sycamore saplings. But instead of entering the flower garden, you turn right again with the football.